Week 17 waiver wire. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. It's championship week. Also, at the end of this video, I'm gonna pick the Christmas games. Jeffrey, let's get it started.
Yes, sir.
Do you have questions at quarterback? Don't worry, I got you. These first two are heavily rostered, but you should check just in case. Anthony Richardson goes up against the New York Giants. So I need to say more? They're the Giants. In week 17, you really gotta start thinking about motivation. Which one of these teams are motivated to win? Matthew Stafford, motivated to win. I'm pretty sure if they went out, they're in the playoffs. I expect him to try to play well. Divisional matchup, should be interesting. Now let's get to some less rostered people. Geno Smith in must-win games, going up against Chicago, should be slinging it. And for those of you out there that are super desperate, you just lost Jalen Hurts. Bryce Young should have a solid game against my Bucks. And I hate to say this because I can't think of a situation where I would want to start this person, but Mason Rudolph, if people are playing defense against you, Mason Rudolph goes up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not the best option in the world, but some of y'all are desperate. Not super confident though. Good luck. Are you having a rough time at running back? Don't worry, I got you. Starting with a guy that's more heavily rostered, but you should still check to see if he's out there. Tajay Spears. If Tony Pollard misses, Spears should be good. Going up against Jacksonville, who do not scare you. He has had back-to-back games with 20 or more fantasy points. I like that. Gus Edwards has risen from the ashes. I will say this, I'm hearing rumors that J.K. Dobbins is not just being activated, but could be back. So it should really be both of them on this list. I will say this, I consider them both very risky. Very risky. Wouldn't play him if I didn't have to. Kareem Hunt's been dropped in a lot of leagues. You should check to see if he's out there. Isaiah Pacheco doesn't seem to have the full role for the Chiefs. Looks like Kareem Hunt's going to stay involved. If he's out there, might be worth his flex spot. These next two are not very talented. You're hoping for receptions and a touchdown for both Alexander Madison and Amir Abdullah. They're facing the New Orleans Saints, who suck. So they might get into the end zone. Which one? I don't know. They both will get targets, and at least one of them should fall in the end zone. You're rolling the dice on which one, though. Running backs in week 17, not the best situation in the world. Hopefully none of you are using the waiver wire, but if you're desperate, a couple dart throws. James Conner's currently injured, so Trey Benson would be the backup, but I believe he's also banged up. Again, super desperate play. Michael Carter might be getting in there. I'd avoid doing this if you don't have to, but you gotta check the health on James Conner. Again, this one makes me nervous. Moving on to wide receivers, and that one actually gets a little better. Are you weak at wide receiver? Don't worry, I got you. Jalen McMillan, I've been telling you to grab him for weeks. He's had a touchdown in 3 straight games, and he's been top 20 in 3 straight games. Definitely think he's worth a play. Romeo Doubs, I think he's a little risky, but with Christian Watson being banged up, they might need to go to him more, and he can always get you 2 touchdowns. And Minnesota is not a scary matchup. These next two are a little more risky. Marquise Brown, I love that he had 8 targets last week. That's what I'm talking about. I don't think he has crazy upside because I don't see the Chiefs scoring a lot of points, but I do think he'll be a pretty decent flex play. And if you're shooting for the moon, Rashad Bateman. He's had a touchdown in back-to-back weeks. His floor is super low, but his ceiling's pretty good. He can score some deep touchdowns. Going up against Houston, I think you can roll the dice on him if you're desperate or need crazy upside. Are you having a tough time at tight end? Don't worry, I got you. Chig Okonkwo. My man's had 10 or more targets in back-to-back weeks. With Mason Rudolph as a starter, I think that continues. Going up against Jacksonville, who does not scare you, he's the best grab of the week. People are desperate for tight ends. You found one. Next up, Dalton Schultz. He's had 7 or more targets in 2 of the last 3 games. He's also had a touchdown in 2 of the last 3 games. And with the unfortunate injury to Tank Dell, those targets are going to have to go somewhere. And this team's probably going to be down against Baltimore, who doesn't have a good secondary. You can do worse than Dalton Schultz. And Hunter Henry is always a solid flyer. He's had 8 or more targets in 4 of the last 5 games. Can't ask for much more of that from a tight end. He's rostered in a decent amount of leagues, but he might be out there. Are you desperate for a defense? Don't worry, I got you. The Indianapolis Colts, they go against the Giants. Did you see what the Falcons did to them last week? That's 2 pick sixes. Am I predicting that this week? Nah. But can they defend the Giants pretty well? Yeah, I think so. Miami Dolphins get DTR, quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. DTR's banged up. I'm hoping he plays, only because Miami defense is better against a bad quarterback, obviously. Chargers against New England. Chargers are still fighting for the playoffs. And New England doesn't score a lot of points. Good matchup. And for the bottom of the barrel play, if you have nobody else out there, I mean, almost nobody, Raiders go against the New Orleans Saints. Saints suck right now. They're injured all over the offense. Raiders could do a solid job. So, did I miss anybody? Let me know down in the comments. Now that the waiver wire has been wrapped up, let's talk about those Christmas matchups. Chiefs at Steelers. Chiefs are 2.5-point favorites. Give me the Chiefs in this one. I think the Chiefs can go on the road and win by a field goal. George Pickens may be back, but regardless, if the Chiefs win this game, they get the #1 seed, lock up home field throughout the whole playoffs, excluding Super Bowl, of course, and they get to rest in Week 18, which we know they need. Chiefs win must-win games. It's just how they roll. Ravens at Texans. Ravens are 5.5-point favorites. Give me the Texans in this one. I want the home team and the 5.5 points. I know that they were devastated losing Tank Dell last week, but I think Houston wants to get back on track. This is a good matchup to prove that Houston is here, and I think 5.5 is just too many points for the away team. All right, back to the studio. NFL on Football Wednesday is kind of crazy. What do we get? Games on Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday? And y'all doing it on Christmas? NFL, y'all stepping all over the NBA and families. How many households are going to be torn over holiday plans when all this football is going on? Luckily, I live in a football household where my whole family understands. Everybody else ain't that lucky. So good luck, everybody out there. Hope you get to watch some football, and I hope y'all don't fight too much about it. That's going to do it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell down below. If you have any questions, hit me up. Good luck in your matchups. Good luck in Pickem. Good luck on the waiver wire. I'll be seeing you soon. Peace, Spanish.